Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb and today we're going to be taking a look at red herring. I made the red herring tutorial originally from before, but the manual actually did get updated and there are a bit of new rules that we need to cover here. So this is the way the module looks. It normally looked like just a normal circle from beforehand, but now it is the shape of a, I believe it's a heptagon or it's a octagon. Heptagon or octagon, I'm not willing to count it right now. It's an octagon, yes. Alright, so this is the way the module looks. It has sort of a similar concept where it can screw with you later on. However, what we need to do is we actually need to do a little bit more work here. So what we need to pay attention to is instead of paying attention to it being red and green, because that's what it was beforehand, if it would, you would press the button, it would go through a little bit of a weird sound, like there would be a Discord alert, there would be the swan reset or needy reset, and then you flash green one time, and then you have to press it there. However, we need to figure out what color we actually need to press it here, based off of green, blue, purple, and orange. So what exactly do we do here? So the first bit of the expert is we need to figure out what row we're actually going to be looking at here, but we're going to figure out you're going to use the column for the first color flashed by the button as the column, and the first applicable row as the row. So we can actually figure out the row beforehand as a prep, and we need to figure out with it the number of batteries is greater than the number of ports. Let's check. Number of batteries greater than the number of ports. No, in this case, we have 4 batteries present, and we have a bunch of ports present. So batteries is not greater than the number of ports, so this row is not true. The last digit of the serial number is greater than 4. The last digit of the serial number is an 8, so that row is going to be true. And then the rest of the rules are pretty easy. Any indicator with a vowel, or none of the above apply. Pretty straightforward rules. Nothing too complicated about it. So let's get this going. So we need to pay attention to our first color by, and we can press the center of the button here and get our first color. So our first color that flash was purple, so we need to look for blue.
It's hugely frustrating, isn't it?
Now, notice that it screws with you. I did not press that. I did not press that at all. And just like that is a solved module. Now, that's another way how it can screw with you. I did not press my mouse on that. That was a strike that was generated by the module or some sort of distraction that is meant to throw you off. It's a very funny module. I did not press that at all, and notice that the strike counter did not give me a strike beforehand. If you need to rewind, you can totally do that. I zoomed out far enough to where there was no strike counter on there, and just like that is a solved module. So it's a little bit more of a reaction test. You're waiting for one of these colors to roll around, and the sequence actually does not loop. Pressing a button at an incorrect color or waiting for all 4 colors to pass would incur a strike, and demand another press to restart the module. So just be very careful with that. Just remember that they do not loop. So let's get this going. Let's take a look at our next one. The number of batteries is greater than the number of ports. We have 5 batteries this time around, and we actually only have 4 ports. So yes, the first row for this one is going to be true, because the number of batteries we have as present is greater than the amount of ports. We have 5 batteries, and we have only 4 ports. So let's get the module going, and let's wait for our first color. Blue, so we're looking for purple. That's green. Orange, okay. And just like that, the module disappears, and just like that is a solved module. So if you haven't happened to realize, what happens most of the time is the distraction in some way, shape, or form ends up sort of doing it right before the actual color appears. So just be very careful with that. If you haven't noticed from beforehand, what happened was that the strike was given before the color that we were going to press, and then the module disappeared on that last example, but the button still stayed present, but right before the color that we were looking for. Let's take a look at one final example. This module is pretty straightforward, but the difference between the old version and the new version is the new version requires a little bit of an expert input. It's not too much, but it's pretty straightforward. So the number of batteries in this time around is obviously greater than the amount of ports that we have present. We have 8 batteries and we only have 1 port, so we're going to be using the same row again. Most time you'll end up using this row anyways, just because of how simple it is to get that edge work condition. So let's take a look here. Let's get our first color. Module disappears. It's green. So now, if we were to highlight green, just exactly what I mentioned here is that if the module happened to disappear at all, we would need to pretty much press the next button. So we had the first color being green, which actually corresponded to green itself. So exactly what happened. The module disappeared, but this means that the
Nice
sequence
guess, but
does
that is not the answer, I'm afraid.
the sequence does not loop, and we happen to get a strike from this case. That's exactly what happened. So I'm glad I got to demonstrate that the fact that red herring will automatically disappear. It says something down here will distract you from the task at hand. So, but yeah, let's do that again. But it does give you clear indication of the next button that you have to press is immediately after the like the sort of disappearance thing. So just be careful with that. We're looking at the next column. It's a purple, so we're going to be looking for orange. And just like that, is this all module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.